Welcome everybody to This Is It podcast. My name is Devin. I am here joined alongside Brad, and today we have a very special episode for you. That's right, we're joined by Nico Cotto and the man himself, Champion. What is happening, fellas? How we doing?
What's good?
We get a studio audience, man, just like. Oh wait, we got Chris Dwell in the fucking building.
Champion. Can you sign my tits?
Yeah, you are.
All right.
You are. But guys, how we doing today? Thank you for coming through.
Doing
Thank you
great.
for putting up with technical difficulties in the beginning.
Of course.
I appreciate you
glad to be
guys.
here.
Yeah, it is. Nothing ever goes as smoothly as we want it to.
That's true with a lot of things.
That is. But anyway, so we're going to start it off. So today we do have two people in the studio. So if you've been with us before, you know how familiar you are to this. We're just going to be bouncing back and forth between both of you. So we're going to start off with you, Champion. How old are you? Where are you from? And what was life growing up like there for you?
I'm 23 years old. I was born and raised in Springfield, Massachusetts. Growing up, it wasn't too bad. I mean, my mom was a single parent, so I usually just kind of kicked it with her all the time, but she never really let me out of the house because the neighborhood we was living in was a little too much for her liking. So I was actually a really in-home child. I never really went out to do much. I usually just stayed home, and I would be playing video games or just making videos, funny videos just for myself, just because I was bored. So I mean, that probably stems from just never really needing to have anybody else around me. I was just in my head, just doing things for my own entertainment, to be honest. So yeah.
And then
Lone Ranger.
Lone wolf shit.
Let's go.
when did you discover music? When did you discover making music, I should say?
Well, I mean, I've always had an ear for music. Music was always something that really calmed me down, and something that I really found a lot of interest in. Whether it was just have my mom told me I had to clean the house, but she was playing Prince in the background or something like that, where I would just listen to stuff and always be snapping my finger, trying to stay in tune and stuff like that. So as a kid, I was always working on just being able to keep up with the words, memorizing lyrics and stuff like that. As I got older, I think it was on my 18th birthday. My grandparents got me a MacBook Pro, and obviously MacBook Pro had GarageBand. So I was always a tech kid, so I loved just trying new things and checking out things and seeing what things did. And when I found out GarageBand was something that I could make music on, I kind of took it on and try to see what I could do with it. And at first it was really nothing major at all. It was I had my Apple headphones, and I was just making these low quality, just raspy, scratchy ass fucking songs. But I mean, the lyrics were there, but the quality was not there at all. It wasn't until I started pushing out songs where my lyrics started catching people's ears. My cousin Nico, he would say aside from the quality, your words are there, it's not bad. It actually makes sense. Your words are very well put together. You have a good flow. So it was it started becoming something where I've always been good at writing. I used to love to write, so poems and stuff like that, or small stories. So that was kind of an attribute I already had. So I kind of just went with it, and hearing that my quality is all I had to change was kind of good, because that means 50% of the work was already done. I knew how to make music. I just had to make it sound better. So that's what I started doing, and taking the time to perfect my craft and put more effort into the quality and mastering of my music, so that when I presented it to an audience, it was something worth listening.
So, Nico, pretty much bring the same question to you. What was it like? Where are you from? What was it like for you growing up there, and with the experiences that you went through out there? How did that create you to the person, or how did that make you the person that you are today?
Well, I don't think people even know this, but we're cousins, so I just want to get that out of the way. But yeah, Nico, I'm 22, a year younger than Kay or Champ. From Springfield as well, born and raised. Went to Sabbath with my boy right here, Devin Bushy. What are you, class 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was class 2015, so he was a year older than me.
Side note, we played sports, and by that I mean cross country, which isn't actually a sport. It's
I mean,
more of a hobby.
I played sports.
That's a sport.
Yeah, he did. I did.
Devin just ran.
Cross country
That's
don't that counts.
Consider that.
That's endurance running.
I mean, a lot of humans can run.
Yeah, but there's a difference
I can't
between
run forever, so-
yeah. I can sprint.
Yeah.
If there's a few sirens
I would
behind me,
consider
I can
it
sprint.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah. So like he was saying though before, like Kay's been doing music since he was 13. Like always had a knack for it. To me, I feel like his best attribute has always been his flow on music. Went to UMass Amherst after going to Sabas and then transferring to Wilbraham Wilson Academy, the prep school. Yeah, and like at UMass, like I would like throw parties there. My brother, shout out Jonathan, aka Camera Boy, he would shoot parties over there. Yeah, and then people kind of just like were really into the videos that he was making, the stuff that we were doing. We started Mass Threads, which was more so like a content creation sort of thing. We did like YouTube skits, anything that was kind of just like fun or something to do was like really cool to us. I was just always looking for something that was just like the next thing. What can I do that's creative? You know what I'm saying? That people might like, whether that's making shirts, whether that's making funny videos with him, whether that's throwing parties, events, whatever it may be. And probably the biggest one, which I'm sure Devin saw, was my senior year. We had Tay Keith, who is like the producer for Drake, Sicko Mode, Nonstop, etc.
He's from Tennessee as well, right?
Yep, he's from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yep. Super nice guy, very humble. But yeah, I had like emailed his manager Cambrian, shout out him too, and they basically gave us like a pretty good deal to have him come and perform his set at a club in Amherst, after party at our frat, xiii, and then he also did the set for our homecoming, which was sick too. And then after he left, Kay also like performed as well, which was cool because we got to do both things.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then he kind of was doing his thing on TikTok. He's almost at 1 million followers now, and he had the song Becky that blew up really big. Got a bunch of phone calls. I was the first person he called, not even his mom, which was crazy. And then from there, he was like, I kind of don't want anyone else doing it with me. You know, bringing as far as like the business acumen, because I feel like I could bring that to the table.
What did you major in while you were at UMass?
Yeah, so I was in Eisenberg Business School. I majored in operations and information management.
Okay.
I did accounting before that, but I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Got it.
So like you were just talking about before, Becky, that's pretty much what got you on the radar for most of these major labels and things of that nature. How long were you making music for before that moment happened, before the TikTok thing happened?
Legit making music, like I wanted people to hear this.
Exactly.
Probably a year.
A year.
A year and a half probably. Like where like I truly like wanted people to hear it. Like there was like, if I was saying like when I first started like putting it out, it was like 2 years. But like when I was like, okay, nah, this is good. Somebody has to like really like fuck with this.
Yeah.
It was probably like around that time.
So during that time while you Champion were pretty much taking music, like as a business, treating music as your money maker, pretty much things of that nature. Nico, while you're doing the things what you were doing over at UMass, how much did that intersect between each other? Because again, you were throwing parties and things of that nature, and you're a performer, so that just usually goes hand in hand. How often were you two in contact?
We were in contact, but I don't think we ever like were like, yo, like we never forced anything. It was very like.
Yeah, we
like,
kind of just went with the flow. I mean, if there was ever like a party where like I was kind of like a hype man. That's how I really started, like as like performing at like these parties and stuff like that. I was more a hype man. So like if the party was kind of getting a little dim, you know what I'm saying, Nico would like hand me a mic or like toss a certain song on and be like, hey, do your thing. And then I would just jump out there and I'd just be like, all right, y'all ready? Like, whatever. And I just, like, people just, like, started coming back and, like, starting getting hype again. And the party started again. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of really where it stemmed from, like, as far as, like, the performing side of it. So.
Yeah. So I just want to throw some stats out there right now. The project that Becky was featured on has over 4 million plays on all streaming platforms, correct? Yep. And Becky has about 2 million plays as of today.
Yep.
Alone?
It's at 1.96, I want to say. Really? That's just on Spotify, too.
Oh, that's only on Spotify?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If we're talking TikTok, it's
So,
way past that.
so what is TikTok for the people who
The new Vine. The new Vine.
Oh, it's the new
literally.
Vine.
Yeah.
But better.
So it's now like TikTok
it used
famous.
it used to be Musically.
Oh,
But
I remember. Yeah.
But they changed the name, so now it's TikTok. But Musically's always been here. It's been here when Vine was here.
Did they get bought out by a different company or something?
I
like
don't
that?
know exactly the specifics of why and how they went about it, but yeah, like a lot of people were like, "Oh, TikTok is its own new thing," but like TikTok used to be Musically, so you can still see certain Musically like tags and different ways that they went about it. It's like the same exactly.
Because I don't know if you guys noticed it too. Because like when TikTok came about, it's kind of like they embraced that that similarity. They embraced the comparison to Vine and things like that.
Yeah, usually companies, any kind of exposure they can get, they'll go with it.
Yeah. See, at first TikTok was just a ad lib, a lip sync, just to a popular song. Everybody transitions, you know what I'm saying, hand gestures, and you just call it a day. Like that's really kind of what it was. It wasn't until like within this year or like a year and a half that it started becoming something where people would do makeup tutorials to these music, or cool dances or trendy dances, or even just straight comedy videos where they no longer even took the music aspect of it. They just kind of put their own like spark into it.
So then you use that idea of who you are as an individual and your music behind you, and you created this this following.
Yeah. So I mean, I started the app back in November, and I really didn't think.
Which is crazy. He hasn't even been on it. What, like not even a year?
You said November.
Yeah, November.
Not even
That's
a
like
year.
9 months.
And he's about to hit 1 million by the end of the month, I would say.
Yeah. So I didn't really take it too seriously. Like I kind of, I started it and I would watch other people's videos and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it kind of like we were saying before, like music and entertainment across videos, funny, comedy, anything like any genre has always been something that I've implemented in my life because of my childhood and not really like being all around with mad people. So like I had to not only find a way to entertain everybody else, but I had to find a way to entertain myself while I was alone. So that's kind of where it really came from. So when I started the app in November, it really, again, everything I do really isn't for anybody until it's for everybody, if that makes sense. So when I started TikTok, I made these videos for me. I'm laughing at these videos. I didn't care who was watching, to be honest. Like I did it just because it was whatever. I saw some friends doing it and I was like, I can do it. I used to make videos like these all the time. It wasn't until I made a video of, I think I was doing a lip sync to Ski Mask's song,
Catch Me Outside?
Yeah, Catch Me Outside, where that video got like over 1 million views in a day. And then it started off where I was at, so overnight, 10,000 followers. So I was like, okay, wow, like, that's more than I've had.
How much were you usually averaging when you posted stuff on TikTok?
Am I averaging now?
Or no, like then before you, because 10,000 is a lot.
Before that one popped.
I was averaging probably like 5,000 views.
And people can't like retweet or anything?
Yes, you can retweet.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, we'll get. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a whole
Okay.
So that 5,000, like those 10,000 followers turned to 25,000 the next day, and then 75,000 the next day, and then by the next week I was at 250,000, and it just kind of kept going. So obviously I like capitalize on this. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm gaining such a following, and me being such an influencer, like I need to start putting out content that now that's for them now. Because now it's for them, it's for them. So it would go it would be anything from a trendy video that's already on the For You page, and the For You page is basically like Instagram's explore page.
Okay.
It's just the most popular hashtagged, reposted, viewed video at that current moment in time. So whatever was on the For You page, I would just do in my own way. So if somebody did a funny dance to a certain song, I would do an even funnier dance to that song. Or if somebody made a comedy video, I'd make an even funnier comedy video. Or if somebody did a video of how they look like somebody, I would find everybody that I look like and just do it even better. Yeah, like everybody. So yeah, so it just kept just gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining to the point where, you know, I'm like, no joke, like blink of an eye and I'm like past 500,000. So I'm a 7 million in 3 months. That's insane.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's insane. So yeah, so I just kept going and going with it, and then it got to a point where my following started becoming very deep, like very like ride for me, like you know what I'm saying. So I call them my champions. That's who I refer to them. And so on TikTok, how people can like, because TikTok's not monetized, so how you make money off of it is you go live and you can get donations, kind of like a Twitch.
Like a streaming service. Gotcha.
So I would go live and it would kind of be like the way I have like a director's mind. So when I go live, like my lives aren't kind of just like, hey guys, what's up? Like my lives are like it's an episode of a TV show that you want to binge watch. Like I come at like, what's up, champions? It's your boy. Like, what are we doing today? Let's check. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just keep going with it. And that type of energy was.
Tell them about the stories that you do.
Oh yeah, like there's different things on my lives that I would do like in each like episode, and it would be like anywhere from a story time where I tell a story where I let my champions pick an age of my life, and I tell one of the most significant stories of that age, and I kind of take that simple story and make it something like over the top. So it actually happened, but like I you know what I'm saying, I exaggerate a little bit just for the entertainment purposes, but like it ranged from like scary stories to funny stories to any type of stories. So we do stuff like that, and you know, again, more and more followers. They're like, his story times are hilarious. I would take my speaker, I will toss on any type of beat and just rap over it. It's all freestyle. Now there's people who like music who are like, he can freestyle. So like there's all these different demographics ranging from every age, from like ages 7 to my own age. So it
to adults.
Yeah. So, you know, and they would join my lives for different things, which, and with that being said, you know, that's where the donations would come in, because people were like, no, we want stories. No, we want you to rap. You know what I'm saying? So like it was a job. Like it's a job, you know. That's just like,
I was just about to ask you, like, how much time would you have to devote to the TikTok service between everything that you were doing at that time? Like, if you had to split it up into a pie chart, what would that chart look like?
Like as far as just my overall day, or
just your overall day surrounding the TikTok, because like the way you're explaining
TikTok
it,
would be, I mean, if you could see my app time on my phone for TikTok, it would be probably like 23 hours out of the day, because I'm constantly on it. And that's for a number of reasons I'm on it. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, when you have so many people that look up to you, and you have so many people who only use the app just to see you, you gotta, you know, it's a job. You gotta be there for it. You know, like there's no days off when it comes to that. To be honest, before it used to be, I'll toss a couple of TikToks up and then call it a day. But now it's become like, all right, I'm checking stats. What are my stats looking like today? Okay, that video didn't do too well, but this video did great.
So more of those.
Yeah, so at the analytics, I'm paying attention to them, just jumping on them.
How often are you posting on there now?
I post probably like 3 to 4 videos on a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I forgot about Vine was like 7 seconds, right?
Yeah. So TikTok ranges anywhere between 15 seconds to 60 seconds.
Don't you have to like hit a certain level to?
Yeah, you have to reach a certain amount of followers to be able to do a good amount of these features. So you can't go live unless you have over 1,000 followers.
Oh, so they make you earn. Oh,
yeah, you have.
So you have to earn like a certain section of that platform.
Yeah, like I can't just go on TikTok and then have 3 followers and be like, I'm going live. What's up, guys?
How many followers?
What's the point of that? 3 people are like, yeah.
So
how many followers for 60 seconds? I forgot what it is.
If
like
it's
1,000,
right?
It's a lot.
So
I don't know the exact number, but it's
like 500,000 or something.
You have to work towards it.
That's crazy, because you would think like with that kind of restrictions, because we all know like enough about social media to the point, right? No matter what platform it is, it's free access for almost all the things available to it, no matter what your follower count is.
It's kind of like Instagram, like how you can't do a swipe up feature unless you're at like 10,000, I think.
So yeah, Champion, you were talking to us before a little bit about this, but I want you to explain to our listeners the different type of things that get you trending on TikTok. What are the type of things that get you on that search page?
Yeah, so trending on the For You page, from my perspective and from what I've learned as I've used the app, is you trend for different reasons depending on just what content you put out and overall who you are as a person. So for instance, I've started a series on TikTok called Rappers Be Like. And at first, Rappers Be Like was just kind of me making fun of different types of rappers and how they rap. And that made the For You page every single time, because not only was it kind of funny, but the song sounded cool. It sounded really dope, which is where Becky came from, because Becky was part of that series. So, people trend for different reasons. If you're a really good dancer, you're probably going to trend because you dance. If you can do really good makeup, you're probably trend because you do makeup. The For You page mixes it up so that there's a little bit of everything. If you scroll up, dance. Scroll up, makeup. Scroll up, rapping. Scroll up, duets. Scroll up, you know what I'm saying? So like there's a mixture of trending for every single different type of genre of content. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you want to talk about how you started implementing your music into the TikTok, Rappers Be Like?
So as I stated before, the Rappers Be Like was a series I started just for fun. The first 3 or 4 of them was really just me straight up freestyling, like just for fun. They weren't pre-written, they weren't anything that I was like my own. Like it was just kind of like I tossed the beat on and I was like, whatever, let's see what happens. I didn't expect to see them reach 1 million each in views, so it became something where people are like, we need more Rappers Be Like. So Rappers Be Like 1 through 4 became 1 through 8, became, you know what I'm saying. So when it reached, I think Rappers Be Like number 8, I think, is when I started implementing my own music, because again I was like, I gotta capitalize on this. Like people are like liking this so much that they're listening to my music, and I read the comments and people are like, why isn't he signed? Why isn't he a rapper? He should make actual music. And so little do you know, like I actually am like a rapper and I do make my own music. So I was like, okay, let's see how this works. Let me just toss my own song in there and see what happens. So my Rappers Be Like 9 was my own song, and people were like, how does he come up with this? This music is so good, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, this is gonna work. So from there, I just kept going, and then when I reached, I don't know which one it is, I think it was Rappers Be Like 13, is when I dropped Becky, and Becky was just a 15-second snippet.
Was Becky part 13?
I think so. I don't. Okay. I'd have to check, but yeah, I think it was Rappers Be Like part 13. I may be wrong.
I don't know why I think it's 9. I could be wrong.
Who knows? There's so many of them at this point.
They were all popping at this point, so the numbers are kind of inconsequential at this point. But I want to ask you, because it seems like there's 2 songs of yours that you dropped before you dropped Becky. How much time did you spend on picking which song to use on the TikTok? Or did you just grab a random one, or were you just like really looking? Because you seem like a very methodical guy about going about this.
So, again, just going off the trending of the For You page and what people were listening to. And so the way TikTok works is you pick a sound, and it can range from music that's out or a sound that somebody just made. So if you're looking at the screen directly, in the bottom right, there's a little record and it spins. When you click it, it's a song. So I'm looking at all the songs that are making it to the For You that's trending. So we have songs from
Money in the Grave.
We have songs from Old Town Road. And now he did the same exact thing. He implemented his song onto TikTok and it blew up. People started making the xiii juice dance.
Really? Old Town Road was like a year old by the time it blew up.
But when it hit TikTok, see you later.
Yeah.
Because people started making this video called the xiii juice video, where it would be somebody dressed in just regular clothing, and it would take a sip of something, and then it said xiii juice on it, and they're like, oh man, and then the beat drops, and they're in a full cowboy outfit, dancing. That video has millions of reposts, millions of duets, videos being made to it, so that got him everything he needed. So I was actually really proud to see that I wasn't the only like to see that. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, this actually can happen. Yeah. So it's just not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's still why, which one, you know. So I wasn't gonna put like some of these rappers be likes were like hard songs like whatever, but I had to look at the demographic that I had, and I had to see the kids and like what I could do that not only would trend, but would also be something that people from all across the world could put their own style into. So I made Becky, which was, a universal song. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has had a Becky in their life. Somebody who's negative, somebody who's done them dirty, somebody who just is...
Several. You learned your lesson after the first two?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, somebody who's just like, you don't mess with them. So I made that song, and I put it out there, 15 seconds, just, I knew this bitch named Becky, and then just let it loose. Put it on there. The next day, that video itself was like 450,000 views and counting. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, another good one. Nice. The next day, past 1 million. The next day, past 2 million, and kept going. And it started getting real crazy real fast because
how long
not
ago was this?
only was I getting views and likes, but people were reposting this video, doing what I told you guys is how TikTok works. They were reposting it and they were kind of doing what I was doing for other people's videos that were making mine popular, but doing it in their own way. So people are taking my song and seeing what they can do to make it even better. So now you have people doing makeup tutorials to that song. You have people dancing to that song. You have people acting to that song. Anything in the book you would think of somebody doing to that song, they have done to that song. So not only do I have, or at that moment, did I have like over 3 million views, but I have over 300,000 people using that sound and getting views on that sound.
700,000 people.
So the way that you're describing TikTok to me, at least someone that isn't frequent on that app,
Yeah.
I know of it. Like we were talking about Vine. It's not quite like Vine, but it's Vine, or reverse, whatever the fuck I mean. But TikTok sounds like its own universe, its own community, its own microcosm, its own zeitgeist, right? And the way that you approached, at least getting your music out there at this point, was to make sure it was a part of that zeitgeist. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the way you just described before earlier, like when you knew that song was a success, is not by the numbers itself, but what people were doing with the songs, of like having in their makeup tutorials.
To know that people wanted it themselves is what made it such a good song.
So my question to you is, when you were making music at that time, because you have an album at this point, we're going to get into that too. Were you making music specifically for TikTok at that point? Were you making, what angle were you making the music from?
I had a few songs that were already out, a good amount of songs actually. There were songs that ranged from the songs that I had stated were songs I just kind of did for myself, to a couple party songs that you know what I'm saying, me and the guys would play, or like some girls I knew would play and like to dance to and stuff like that. So I had already had music out, and I had a few music videos out. I had one of my songs that's on my album right now, Championxiii. I had a music video to that. I also made a song that was very popular as well called Slide, which is also on my album. And those two songs kind of skyrocketed the overall outlook of my music to people in general. So the moves that I make when I know that it's something that people actually want. Until then, I will perfectly fine chilling in my room, going over and perfecting my craft. I don't need to continue pushing out and hope somebody will grab it. I wait till I know they are asking for it to give it.
So I want to ask you real quick. I know you were just talking to us about it off camera, but has it been hard?
Excuse me.
Solid. Has it been hard to carry
Like Big
the
Macs.
following from TikTok?
My
Has it
bad.
been hard to carry the following from TikTok onto other platforms like Twitter, Instagram, that kind of
Is it
stuff?
hard carrying Springfield on your back? Okay.
Yeah, my back be hurting sometimes. No, so it's really not hard to transfer all of my followers from one app to another. It's more along the lines of the fact that my demographic does range from kids to adults, but it's predominantly kids. So a lot of these kids either are not allowed to have access to Instagram and other stuff like that, or just do not have that app because their Instagram is TikTok. So when they use that app, they have the freedom to, look at the For You page, aka the Explore page, or post their content and have fun doing what they want to do. Because Instagram is an app that is for everybody, but it is also a little bit more for adults. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you look at my feed, there's probably stuff that a kid shouldn't be like looking at. So you know,
to say the least.
You know what I'm saying? So like World Star and fights and all this stuff.
We're talking
like
about your feed specifically.
Yeah, but it's probably, you know what I'm saying, like. So it's probably not the best for the kids to have the Instagram. So, you know, so when you look at like Instagram, like right now, I think I have like 23,000 followers on Instagram, and that's not bad. Never mind.
I don't know why I'm acting like I can't
Never
speak.
mind.
24.
Never mind. I guess I reached 24. So yeah.
I don't want to interrupt.
So like 24,000 followers on Instagram, and I'm constant. It's on a daily basis. If I just refresh, it's still going.
So I want to talk about when Becky was on SoundCloud and it charted top 10 in the world.
That was crazy because his song was next to like BTS, Ozuna, Playboy Cardi.
Yeah, the first 3 days.
Cardi B.
Yep.
And the first 3 days.
How'd that make you feel?
I mean, it was crazy. It's like everything that happened since I posted that song has been crazy. It's been a movie, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's been pretty intense. Like, we've had ups and downs. We've had moments where we're like, no way. We've had moments where we're like, no way. Like, so it's just like it gets pretty intense. But you know what I'm saying? You always stay level-headed. But you know, I have gotten starstruck before and stuff like that. You know, even with just meeting with people who know even bigger people, just to be like, I can't believe you have that person's number. What? Like, just that type of moment. It's just pretty cool.
Jonas Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I
did see some Nicos.
I thought he was being funny.
So we had a interview or a meeting with Republic. And we just happened to stumble across a Jonas Brothers like album release party, but like a private one. So
I don't think it was album release. I think they were like they were celebrating #1 on the pop charts.
Oh, was that okay? Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and they were just celebrating their champagne, like huge cake with their faces on it and stuff like that. Like, and there was like maybe like 30 people tops, like
their close family.
Yeah. So we're in one room having a meeting about like my future, and they're celebrating theirs, and so we kind of like, you know, he loves Jonas Brothers, so he's just sitting there.
Who's
like
my favorite?
Yeah.
I always used to think I was Nick low key because of my name. But
I've never met a Jonas Brothers fan in my life.
No, it was crazy, yeah.
I like their new stuff. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty good.
So we're chilling in the room and we can hear, we can hear their music playing and all that stuff like that. And he's sitting there just like fidgeting in his chair. And so the A&R that we were with, he was like, come on, like we can go over there real quick, like whatever. So he's just like, all right, yeah, cool, yeah, cool. So we listen to them talk and stuff like that, and it was just a funny experience. It was pretty cool to see, you know, people of such a high tier like in the same room as you.
Yeah, they look like gods.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying. He's like, Nick made eye contact with me, like, you know what I'm saying. So it's
I really did though.
Yeah, so it's like, you know what I'm saying.
Because they were like, why the hell are they here?
Yeah, but it was pretty cool.
Nah, they were fine, but they were just like, wait, what?
Yeah, but it was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying, and like.
Yeah, it's me, it's Nico, remember?
Yeah. But if anything, it kind of gave me that revelation that it's like, man, one day that could like be me. And like that just, if anything, that experience kind of made me want to grind harder. Like I want to be that. I want to be with a label sometime in the future, and they're celebrating my album or something like that. So that was a pretty cool experience.
So you said earlier in the interview that the first person you called was Nico.
Yeah.
Nico. So how'd that make you feel?
Horrible. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't believe him at first. I thought he was like fucking with me. Excuse my French. So I was just like, nah, you're lying. But like I can tell like his voice was like shaking and stuff like that. So I was like,
yeah,
wow. But
so some people listening might be like, why didn't you call your mom first? Why Nico?
Mom. No, I was kidding. I just like, I don't know. It's just me and Nico grew up together, and we always did everything together, like funny videos and just like jokes and like mindsets and future talk, like where we're gonna be, where we want to be, like. And so I don't know, like
We would talk about this so
like,
many times,
so
like a
much.
scenario like this happening.
Like, man, what if like, you know, you went to school and went like did like was in a really good program and like, you know, went really far in that, and I went in my entertainment, and we kind of just like met and we just skyrocketed from there. And then, you know, I get that first label call, and I'm just like, there's just no way. Like I could explain that whole, like, it was insane, you know. Like I did the I think it was like May 27th, or no, yeah, May 27th.
That sounds right.
And I put the Becky snippet up.
Mm-hmm.
Blew up within those next 3 days, and then around June 9th, I made it an actual song, and then I posted it on SoundCloud. So yeah, June 9th is when it got posted on SoundCloud, and then the next day it was like, what, 300?
Oh, it's a month from today, actually.
Yeah.
Today's July 9th.
Yeah, so a month ago, yeah. So it was like maybe, I would say 67,000 views the next day, but like I posted it at like 12 o'clock midnight, and so by next day I mean the next few hours, so probably like within 6 hours, that's what it jumped to. And then with those next 4 days, man, forget about it, it just blew up.
Because after you got that first phone call, we pretty much got hit up by every major label there is.
And it was funny because it would happen every time we entered one meeting with one. So if we went to this like label to meet with them for a meeting, as we're walking in the door, his phone, okay, we have another meeting with them too tomorrow. And then we'd go to them the next day. No, we want you to like.
Did they say how they found you? Was it through TikTok or was it because
so some
of SoundCloud?
Some of them found me through TikTok and some of them found me through SoundCloud, but TikTok was the major.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what a lot of people don't know is that there's a lot of A&Rs and a lot of like music industry people who are on TikTok like low key, just watching.
And also, when he charted on SoundCloud, I'm sure that everyone was like, "Who the hell is this?"
Yeah, that probably helped a
Yeah,
lot.
there's eyes on that app. So like,
we tend to, I guess we tend to underestimate like how powerful the internet is in some instances too, because like you were just talking about before, like TikTok on like Instagram circles is kind of treated as a meme, and lo and behold, like this meme has A&Rs from major labels sitting on it, just scouting talent.
Yeah, I just want to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, no, yeah.
TikTok is dope. That's it.
Oh, okay, all right.
no, I mean like, after Lil Nas X and Old Town Road, man, I mean, a lot of these major labels are sitting here like, man, like, just like you said, like how much of a like, you know, once you go trending, you're trending. Like people are all over the world are seeing you do whatever you're doing. So if you have TikTok, and you know, some people would assume that a viral video would be like 20,000 views or 30. It's like everybody has their own like, nah, that's a viral video because it had that many views. But when you're seeing videos like past 1.5 million, like that's past viral. That's like a whole country. Like
He has
that's insane.
That's a few cities, bro. Like,
Yeah.
his original Becky snippet, just a snippet,
Yeah.
is at 8 million plus.
Now, were you aware of the attention that he was getting on his TikTok videos at the time?
I'm not gonna lie, when it was like going up, he'd show me. He'd be like, "Yo, bro, I'm at 300,000." I'm like, "All right, whatever." Like, I don't really understand it. I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? And then he started to talk to me about it like more and more throughout it growing, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, he's like, something is gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just didn't know when. But I think now, you don't really. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but like nothing really feels that real until like I said, he gets that phone call and get invited out.
I mean, you know, like I said, like before, like Becky and stuff like that, I had a really huge following just off of who I was as a person in general, whether it was comedy or just like making funny videos or just how positive and influential I was to my audience. So I had already had my TikTok for about 6 months, building up a name for myself regardless of my music. So it wasn't until towards the very end that I started implementing my music. So a lot of people were like, you know, like, oh, so did you get your huge following from your music? And it's like, no, I got that just from being me. Like, I actually put in work every day to entertain my fans so that I had a following. So once I was past like 600,000 followers, I'm like, okay, now I have enough people watching me that anything I do can like hit or miss, but like will most likely hit. So it's like, what's gonna hit? What do I want to do? What do I want to make be the thing that like blows me up there? So it was either acting or music, because those are two things that have always been a part of my life, always been something I was so just interested in, like perfecting my craft to do so. And it was kind of like my mindset was, it's either one. I don't know, because I'm gonna do both in my life no matter what, but which one's gonna be the one that gets me to the next one, you know? Happen to be music, this one, you know what I'm saying? But that's good, because like I can go from music to acting a little bit easier than I could do from acting to music, because you know a lot of people who are actors start making music, people are like, you act, you don't make music, you know what I'm saying? But when you see people like Chris Brown who've been making music forever, but then see them in a movie, they're like, Chris Brown's in a movie, like, oh, that's cool, you know what I'm saying?
Which is actually kind of weird.
You know, do you know what I'm saying?
Or like Jared Leto.
Yeah.
30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, so you see stuff like that, and it's a little bit easier. So I'm kind of happy that it was music. That was the thing that got my attention, like got everyone's attention to who I am as a person.
Just to put into perspective, Nico, you said 8 million, right? Plays earlier.
Go ahead.
The population of LA is 6 million. So people.
Well, that's just. So I'll explain it. That's,
you want to go ahead? Yeah.
That's
it's
just
720,000.
Yeah, I know. That's just my video alone.
Yeah.
That's
that's what I was just saying. Just
that's my 15-second snippet that I put by myself that has 8 million. There's 720,000 people who have also made a video to that sound. So that 8 million is times by so it's actually.
So basically the way that TikTok things are shared are unlike any other social media, to where someone's actually singing your song to their audience, which is X number no one really knows. If you take the average on the low end, it's around 1,000. So even if you multiply that by 1,000 on the low end, you're looking at 720 million views on the low end across the world in a month. Right now. So.
TikTok, the app that.
So I guess the question that I got for you guys at this point, just because pretty much fast forwarding through everything that's happened since then and where you guys are at right now, just pretty much Nico and Champ at the moment right now. That's the team right now. You guys going forth, Champ and Nico and Champ, going through these interviews. Like you said, like it's so, like the process with the interviews itself. Like what was it like going into your first interview and then kind of settling into like that whole process?
I mean, okay. So, like, the first interview was just pure nerves, man. Like, the first interview was, like, not only is this, like, you don't understand what your mind goes to until, like, you're there. Like, I had no idea what to say, what was going to make sense. I was nervous. And
I was the exact opposite.
They're saying words to me I've never heard a day in my life.
Who was the first meeting with? Which label was that?
Alamo Records.
Alamo. Oh, okay.
Who's a subsidiary sub-label to Interscope.
Okay. And Alamo.
Smoke Perp, Lil Durk, Clomethazine, Blackberry, Guap.
So you're like that time, like Nico just said, he was the opposite. So you were just like I'm in this chair.
I was keeping my cool, but at the same time,
the poker face.
This has always been a dream, but never a reality. So now that it's a reality, I don't know. I have no idea what to go about. Like, you never really prepare yourself for something like that because it seems so far-fetched in the current moment. When you're still building it up, you never really I never would assume that, like, I put a song out, I wake up the next morning and there's a call like, hey, we want to meet with you, like a label. And I'm like, okay.
Nico, after Champ gave you that call, like, I need you on my team to help run this, like, to be my manager, what was your mindset during that point? Because he's not asking you to, like, just drive me around somewhere. He's not asking you to, like, like that.
I mean, just the way my mind works is, like, I don't really get nervous for a lot of things, just naturally. So for me, my entire mentality was like, yes, finally. Like, I can't wait to, like, fucking go in there and meet with everybody. You know what I mean? But that's just how I am.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, when he said that to me, I was just like, if this is genuinely, like, you want me to do this for you, I'd love to. That was my reaction.
So another question I got for y'all, because like you were just saying before, Champ, like you're not really prepared for these moments until it actually hits you. Going through what you're going through now, what have you guys kind of learned, or what have you guys kind of been looking for since then? For because we all know that music industry is what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
the industry plays games.
The industry does.
I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a business.
It's definitely a business, but
a lot of
if you don't,
how quickly did you learn that?
Probably by the second to third meeting. Because, like, obviously you go to the first meeting, but you haven't heard from anybody else. So
Exactly.
you assume that everything they're saying is actual fact, and that's it.
Getting an attorney is helpful as well, because they let you know.
We'll get into that.
But then you go into
second.
another label, and they're saying kind of the same things, but either denouncing everything they're saying with their own words, or completely changing what they said in a whole nother way you hadn't heard the first time. So it kind of makes it like, okay, not only is who's not lying, but who's kind of stretching the truth, and who's being genuine, or who's just trying to say what they think I would like to hear, and not really meaning it, you know?
So the things that they're offering you they sound to an extent, the things that they're trying to offer is about the same, but how they go about giving that to you is what's changing between all
So
of them.
yeah, these A&Rs, they have tactics. They're very smart. They're like strategists. So they'll throw in little things here and there. They'll take you here. They'll show you this, and they'll make it seem like it's just whatever. But they're doing it on purpose to kind of make you all starry-eyed and stuff like that. Or they'll say they'll do certain things, or they'll give you certain things, and then in the contract it's written differently, or a proposal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why like getting an attorney is super important that knows the language, that's closed over 200.
And I mean, another reason why I called Nico is because, like, Nico's not dumb. Like, he's probably like the smartest person I know, like, as far as just like business, like material, just stuff like that. So like, if I was gonna have somebody on my team, I needed somebody who was confident, like you just said.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need that mentality, because sometimes I don't have like I'm very confident too, but sometimes I have a realistic mindset where it's just like, but what if? And he's there to be like, nah, what if it's gonna work, so just stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's why I needed somebody like that, like, you know, going about this process with me. And you know, like every time we left a label meeting, we would, you know, go back to the hotel room, and he'd be like, so how do you feel about this, and what they said about that, and how they felt about this, and I would say how I felt, he would say how he felt, and we'd kind of mutually come to okay, this is gonna be our next decision, you know what I'm saying? Like as a team, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of people don't really do that. Like there's a lot of artists who probably just go in there and say, yo, like I want the bag, I don't care how I get it. Like, like, oh, what's that contract say? Like 360 deal, sure, whatever, as long as I
Not
get
knowing
mad
that
money.
that's like a piece of every income stream and things
You know
of
what
that
I'm saying?
nature.
Yeah.
And then
Everything.
a year later, and they're fucked, and they don't know why. But that's why, you know what I'm saying? So if you have somebody on your team who's like, okay, first of all, we know you want the bag, but before that, let's take a look at this first, yeah? And like, you know, and so he's always been somebody who's kept my mind, you know, straight, and kept my mind like on the actual goal and task at hand, instead of just like getting starry-eyed or allowing them to give me this fugazi thought of like what could be until it's actually what it is.
So when did you guys make the decision to bring an attorney on board? Because that's a pretty big deal, especially in this process that you guys are going through.
Yeah.
Immediately.
As soon as that first meeting happened and we realized that this is serious, like this is like actually not that just fucking with us, like this is dead ass serious, like
And we were lucky enough to get shout out Sebastian Czar if you're watching this.
Ta-
So he's part of Settlemyer and Associates, and I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're the best hip hop law firm in the world. So Settlemyer is the guy who actually represented Eminem in the 90s and 2000s. They represent Eminem, Drake, our Post Malone, like all these guys, like top tier.
What wisdom were they able to impart on you guys when it came to these sort of situations and dealing with these labels? Like you were saying, parsing out that language to like pretty much make it clear for you, like here's what they actually mean when they say
you
that.
know, I kind of left that part like to Nico. Like I just focused on the music aspect of it, but as far as the business aspect, I mean, he you know, he sat there like all night long, like no sleep, just like reading up on what these words mean, the definitions, how to go about them, watching like like not tutorials, but like, you know, like videos on how things have happened and why they happened that way, and how things were said to this person to make them believe something or not. And just like grinding every single night to make sure that when we go to the next meeting, he's like saying words to them they didn't think we knew ourselves, you know? And so that was kind of, I think, as far as the meetings go, that was the most like proud and like most like confident and like, all right, we got this moments that like I think we had, like, you know, like them taking us out or them trying to wine and dine us to make us feel like that was all cool and all, but like the coolest part of it was to be able to go to a label and make them feel like, oh man, these guys are actually smart, like they're not just some kids trying to get a bag, like they know the words that we would use, like to the point where it was gonna be something like, all right, let's sign today. To we'll get back to you. Like we'll keep in contact, because they're like, we can't go about this the same way we would with somebody else because they know better.
Yeah.
So now we got to come up with a new tactic.
Nico, with like the things that you were learning as you were going about this process with Champ, what were some of the things that you were coming to understand? Like, what were they trying to sell you? Like, if you had to put it in like plain, like black and white terms, what were they trying to give y'all?
Yeah, and I mean, to break it down, it's kind of like you would just have to learn the different aspects to a record deal and what that looks like, or a record deal versus a 360 versus a distribution deal, etc., etc. And you don't really need to know the language that much, but you need to know just kind of like how royalties work, how owning your masters work, the terms of a deal, how much they would take off of your touring. Are they going to help with touring, with your marketing, their Spotify playlist connections? Like, there's so many aspects to every label. It's like, it's weird. It's like they could offer you $200,000 up front, give you an 80-20 split. It'd be like a 1+1, which is like the album you have out +1, and then they're like, okay, but we want to own your masters in perpetuity, which means like forever. You know what I'm saying? So like one little thing could throw it off, although you wanted something else. Or they'll say something at the end where it's like, if you go into an option clause, it's kind of like it's kind of like sports. It's
exactly.
like you have options to, opt in or opt out. They could say, oh, like everything could be good again, but they want you for 5 albums, and it says in a clause that, oh, you don't have a say whether you want to leave or not. If we want to keep you, you have to stay with us. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's always has to be like, patience is key. And yeah, I mean, for us, like, the most important thing was definitely owning the masters, just because, like, say Becky, for instance, say they wanted to give him, this didn't happen, I'm just saying, say they wanted to give him $100,000, right? Let's just go as a round number, advance, and they were like, oh, we want to own Becky. Well, if he keeps 100% royalties, he'll clear over that just from Spotify in 1 year. So it's like, why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Discount.
Yeah, but like, they don't think that like you would take the time to calculate that out. But it's like, and then if you own that over time until he's 70, think about how much money that could be potentially.
Especially with royalties of like your like the whole skit, that could be a real thing. Like, what is this song? That song could be used in like Incredibles 4 or some shit like that. You know?
Yeah, and it's kind of whack, because like a lot of these labels do take advantage of people of color and kids that do just want that to say to their city or their family, I got signed, which I get, so it's very tempting, but
I mean, that's the thing about the industry. It's pretty much mostly about exploitation. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that I'm glad for Champ. I know Champ's glad as fuck too that he has you in his corner, because it could have went easily south. Like Champ was saying before, like in that first meeting, super excited. Say if you don't have the right person in your corner, you end up signing a deal. Like, do you guys follow Joe Budden? Like he has a series called Pull Up. I don't know if you saw what he did with Russ.
I know. I follow Joe Budden's podcast. I don't know if he has a new thing called Pull Up.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like an interview series, like a sit down interview. It's on its second season, but he had an interview with Russ that was super interesting. If you guys haven't gotten the chance to check it out, I would suggest.
Where he talks about a distribution deal.
Yeah, he pretty much, or the different types of deals in that too. But
and how that's the most attractive.
Yeah. Like that snippet's probably been going around too. With you guys, have you been going in? You probably go into it at this point knowing what you want out of it. Yeah, like he's talking about royalty rates, the difference between a royalty rate deal and a profit split deal. Yeah. And just pretty much going out explaining like how you were saying about before, like Spotify in a year you can clear $100K, and labels are still offering you $100K just to keep the masters and everything else on top of that. But he was pretty much talking about, like you were saying before, not a lot of these guys are educated on that. You know what I mean? Even though the information is out there because the internet exists, it's like you gotta look for it. But just Google like, well, how does this deal work and such and such like that. One question I got for you guys is, have you pinned down what you want exactly out of a deal? And if so, how hard is it to get that kind of deal, given that you're a new artist and you don't have that much leverage?
So we actually we've kind of like not talked about it really, but Champs recently signed a distribution deal through Sony, which where it was like he was able to like keep his masters, like and it just made sense, and like you were alluding to before, like it is an attractive deal, like and what's kind of cool about it too is that the way it's structured is that he can still sign to a major record label on top of and still do distribution through them where they can handle his marketing, etc., and stuff like that. And there was just like a lot of creative freedom of like you can do whatever you want. We just basically provide you the funding to make that vision possible.
Did you guys have to set up your own label in order to do that, or were you able to do that through your own?
No, they kind of just really liked the idea of it. I mean, it just being like Massachusetts based and him being the spearhead to that and the face of that, especially just being as big as he is right now. Pause.
Oh no, we're not that kind of. Nah, we're not that kind of podcast. We're really, oh shit, I didn't really get what he said about that. All right, so you guys.
Yeah. Yes.
So you guys got the distribution deals pretty much hammered down. Nico, you alluded to it earlier. You were saying like Sony was interested in having Champ kind of spearhead this movement within Massachusetts. Does Sony, or I shouldn't even say Sony, but more like a general label question I got. Are they looking at this area?
They're looking at him. I can say that.
Not to say like you were being in this meetings like, so what do you guys think of this area? But just because we're curious about that.
Massachusetts is very hard to get out of when it comes to like this industry. Like when you're trying to like come out of like a place like this, you really have to be big. You know, I mean, it's probably easier on the west side because of how much like content is being created over there. But on the east side, it's a tad bit harder because of how non-commercial it truly is. To be like 100% honest. So if I build a following that ranges from here to the west side to Germany, Australia, Japan, that's much easier to go, okay, let's take this kid out of there.
Because you kind of done most of the work at that point.
Yeah. The work on my end has been done. See, when you let's say my music was what popped before even TikTok. Let's say it was just my music and I got noticed and people wanted to talk to me and see maybe saw potential. You know what I'm saying? They would have to not only have a team to build up my social media to get me that following, to add on to the music aspect of what I had. They can see I have talent, but who's really behind me? You know? If I have over 800,000 followers and then they see me, they're like, this kid's already got all these people behind him and he can make music. We're definitely going to reach out to him, you know? It's just that much easier because I did half of the work, you know?
Yeah. So pretty much from a label standpoint, it's really just with the East Coast in particular. West Coast has, like you were just saying, all that stuff is already out there. It's already, the structure's already out there.
New York too, yeah.
New York definitely because it's
Atlanta,
such a media
Houston,
capital.
places like that.
Yeah.
But Massachusetts in particular, I guess we can count Connecticut, Rhode Island in that mix as well too. It's not necessarily a media hub. You know what I mean? It's not known for that.
And these labels, like, it's not like they see geographic location; they just see green. You know what I'm saying? Like they see where the money is. So like it wasn't necessarily like, oh, we want K because he's from Massachusetts and blah 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 blah. It's like, no, we want K because he has all this versatility to him. So yeah, if someone happens to come out of Massachusetts too, that's fine. But I think for them, they have so much work to do with the clients that they have. They're like, okay, we like that idea. You guys know who's popping across the state, so that if you find somebody, develop them to his level and then funnel them through us, that can be attractive too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's definitely good.
So my question is, we got a couple more questions before we let you guys get out of here. Once again, thank you for coming through. Congratulations on all your success. Nico, congratulations on everything that you're doing. We've been cool for a long time. So.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you.
But
I love what you guys are doing too. This podcast is gonna blow up. I promise.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks,
guys.
Promise.
Thank you. And thank you for just saying yes and coming on. That's like half the battle.
I'm all about that.
But what's next for each of you? What's a year from now? What do you guys hope or plans that you guys have that you can
I'm hoping
talk
I'm
about?
Somewhere in Germany doing a fire show. Not gonna lie. Yeah. I'm hoping I'm somewhere just living the life and just doing what makes me happy and just not having to answer to anybody, just doing what I've been doing since I was young and just keep going with it, just continuing to perfect my craft. Like I'm nowhere to the top just yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been noticed, and that's good. My foot's in the door, but now it's the most like time to be grinding and putting in like the most work I have. So.
And this too, like he is gonna be dropping a music video for Becky this summer. That's gonna be shot in LA. So that's another future thing that you should have said. No, I'm kidding.
I know.
Oh, what about Party, the label?
Yeah, that's done. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, yeah, I mean, I would love to. Right now, he's the focus. I don't really want to like focus on anything else. Like, I really want to make sure that he is set in everything he is, and I feel like that will come with like we're gonna do little things to like incorporate that obviously throughout time and continue to support him as a label, and he's gonna continue to represent it. And then if we see artists and talent and kids that it could be producers, videographers, artists, whatever that we feel like could contribute to the brand and are solid people and are very talented, then we'd love to bring them on board. But right now it all starts with him. But yeah, a year from now, I would love for more awareness for Party for sure, and just respected in the hip hop community or the arts community in general.
I love it. All right, final question.
Lightning round.
Two more. Where can everybody find each of you on social media?
So you
can't find me.
No, right? Nah, I stay low key. No, you can find me on Instagram at Championxiii, and you can find me on TikTok at the same @ and Twitter at the same @. And
Yeah, I'm just an Instagram guy. So Nico Cotto 15. That's NICO COTTO 15. And my account's private, so if you want to see the stuff, you gotta hit follow.
I thought you was about to say you gotta pay that premium.
Yeah, that too. My
OnlyFans.
My Snap
OnlyFans.
Premium is
Oh shit, Nico. I'm not even Nico. Champ, I forgot to ask you this question. How'd you get your name?
So okay, that's good.
Ooh.
Here we go. No, it's good.
That's his actual name.
He was born champion.
No, I'm kidding.
I was about to say.
So
Champion.
we got the cameras on. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, I stay champed out from the head to toe. You know what I'm saying? It's tatted on me. You know what I'm saying? It's on the neck. No, I was kidding. But I basically, Champion has always been a brand that I wore. Even before it was like popular, like even when it was just a Walmart brand where people make fun of you for wearing it, I didn't give a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? My mom put clothes on my back, I'm gonna be grateful. And Champion was like stuff that she used to get me. And I just fucked with it, you know what I'm saying? And I really loved the aspect of them being an underdog brand on their own, coming up and becoming something that blew up, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of the same story as mine, you know what I'm saying? They were known, you know what I'm saying? People liked some of the stuff they had, but it wasn't until like it really just took a turn and just sparked that it blew up, and now they have hats, accessories, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, where they implemented that into different social medias and media hubs and all that stuff like that. So it's just been something that I've always worn, and it started becoming something to the point where people would associate the brand with me. Like if they went to a store and they saw a Champion shirt, they'd be like, yo, I'm thinking, they'll send me a Snapchat.
And there were
like, yo,
kids
look at this Champion stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's kids who are on TikTok who think I started the brand. Like, there's kids who are like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, do you own Champion? And like, the other kids are like, yeah, he does. I mean, obviously, he wears it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, these
That's
kids.
some kid shit, though.
Yeah, they really just.
But
like,
it works to his advantage.
Hell yeah,
so,
man. Definitely.
like, Champ, like, it was my birthday and I got $500 and I bought a bunch of Champion stuff just to support your brand. And stuff. It's like, it's like, man, if only I was seeing something, you know what I'm saying? But, like, it's just pretty cool. Like, and
yeah,
just,
hopefully
like,
a
going back to what you were
sponsorship deal.
asking me, just going back to what you were asking me about, like, what else I see or would want in the future is definitely a Champion sponsorship deal. That's like solidified where I can really like, I'm a walking billboard.
Yeah,
bro.
you got Champion.
I'm already
shoes,
there. Like, it's not like you see me as a big, you know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah,
like
you
see
got-
me as a huge artist, and you're like,
He has the
man,
underwear,
I wish you would
too.
rep our brand. I'm already repping your brand. You don't really have to ask me at this point. Now it's just like, all right, what are the terms at this point?
Don't you have the tat on your lower back or no?
What? Oh my god.
Yo, Nico's on fire. We're going to
that shit on the lower back though.
He's going to wrap this up for a 10 minutes. This is it after dark or some shit. Yo. All right, so damn, that's pretty interesting. All right, time to get into the last question before Nico gets more out of pocket. What you guys got answer this separately. What does success mean to you?
Ooh, who wants to answer that one
You go
first?
that first, bro.
What does success mean to you? I don't know, man. I'm just like I love money, but I feel like
Shout out capitalism.
but I'm more so I'm more so about what money can give you, though. I feel like it's a measurement to how much you've affected others, I guess, and kind of like the time and skill and work with talent, obviously, too. So I feel like success to me is... That was a really bad answer.
Nah, man. Just think.
I would say success...
Weak.
I would say success to me is just like being able to like stay yourself throughout literally everything, even when people do janky shit to you.
Yeah.
To not allow your heart to go dark and to continue to keep like the right people around you, no matter how far you go, and continue like acclimating, but to stay yourself. I feel like that's like true success for real.
Keeping your soul, man.
Top that.
Shout out to
Well, you kind of did like a circle real quick, but no, I mean honestly, like he said it the best. Like that's exactly what I think success to me is. It's just going far but staying who you were from the beginning all the way to the end. That's success to me. Success is to know that you made it to the top, but you were yourself the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody can truly, like, if you really put in work, you can make it to the top, but like it changes you over time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you can stay yourself and make it to the top, that's just like it's a little bit more difficult, but it shows how much you really are into this shit.
Yeah, all right, everybody. So that's it. That was our interview with Nico and Champion.
Here,
Fellas, thank you for pulling up and doing the interview with us. Shout out to Chris Joel. My man's made it through another interview. Yo, what the fuck? Yo, I didn't even peep he was making that noise. Yeah, he's like, yo, holy shit.
that's exactly
That was
what
the
I need.
interview, man.
I need that.
Thank you guys for pulling up.
Of course, man.
Of course.
Oh
I
man.
love it.
Everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of Nico Breathing in the Mic.
Yep.
I'm Brad,
I'm Devin.
and this is it.
Baby,